and welcome back to my channel. I am the Art Whisperer, and on this channel I like to talk about art interpretation and current day life. Now, I do hold a BA in art history. I know, living the dream, but this is for entertainment purposes only, so let's just have some fun. This week's piece actually has no name, and it's full of intrigue because it involves a lot of fake news. I know, I just triggered everybody with saying the fake news, but fake news in the art history world. You see, I don't really care if you're triggered, because if you're left, if you're right, if you're ambidextrous, either way, there's fake news for everybody. And that's going to be no different than the story we're going to talk about today. Now, I'm done with talking about current day fake news because that's going to lead to, the big orange man. And quite frankly, I can't take any more citrus. It is too acidic for my belly. This story involves three characters. You have Zeuxis, which I'm butchering. You have Parrhasius, which I butchered even worse, and Pliny the Elder. I know he sounds just like some really cool pirate, like Pirates of the Caribbean, but he's not. Let's just go with like Z and P. Z and P are well known in art history for having like an epic art battle of who's going to be the best. And Pliny apparently recorded it. Now, I'm talking like who's going to be top dog here, like who's better, Nicki Minaj or Cardi B, or Spider-Man or Batman, which is really stupid because Batman isn't a superhero. He's just like, Batman's dumb, triggered some nerds. We're going to start with 5th century. About 5th century, could be 4th century. Z is known for his realism and his still life. It was on the verge of a Trump blowout, which I talked about in one of my other videos, so go back and check it out. We don't know much about him, but we do know the way he died. And this is good, okay? Supposedly, he died laughing at somebody. And not just laughing at somebody, but you see, he was painting this old woman as Aphrodite. And this old woman apparently was like hideous looking, and he had to paint her. And when he saw what he had done, he couldn't stop laughing at how ugly this woman was. And then he died. I mean, talk about being triggered. I feel bad for that woman. Every time I walk by a paintbrush, I'd have like PTSD. And then to be like the dude that laughed at you, you can't come back from that. No. I feel sorry for her. Now, P, he has a lot more written about him. He is the son of a painter. He was known for his Trump blowout. I mean, this dude excelled in Trump blowout. His work survived. See, Z's didn't survive, but this guy's work survived, and it was studied for generations. A lot of glowing things about this man, but the funny thing is, it's kind of cruel. He would torture people so that he can capture like, the raw emotions of his victim. And he drew, I mean, nothing more realistic than capturing it that way. And I say victims because, I mean, if you think about it, that's like what serial killers do, okay? They turn around and they like photograph their victims like mid-torture, and he's a creep. So let's get into this battle. So what happens is Z and P are like going at it hardcore as to who's better. Like, like my art is better than yours. They decide on doing frescoes. Everybody's gonna vote to see who's better. So they're painting away and everybody gathers around, and then it's time for judging. And so what happens is Z-Man, he like gathers everybody, and so he draws his curtain back and everybody gasps at this really boring painting he did of a boy holding fruit. Now they say that the fruit is very realistic. Now remember, he's known for like his realism and his still life. And so, I mean, this fruit looks like it is scrumptially delicious. And a bird comes flying down, like hits it and then falls to the floor. So, of course, Z's like, huh, I fooled a bird. And so, therefore, I'm number one. And, you know, P is in the background, kind of like chilling, like, it's really good, man. I like it. You know, it's really good. It's really realistic. And then he's like, okay, it's your turn. So Z gathers everybody up and they go over to his side of the wall, his fresco. And P just kind of bows and he's like, well, here we go. And like everybody stands there like, okay. Like, now what? What's the big deal? Like, are you going to show us something or what? And Z is like, we know it'll be good. All you got to do is just show us. Like, don't be afraid. We'll like it. You know, kind of all snooty. And, you know, P looks at him. He's like, yeah, hello. Like, this is my art. And Z's like, come on, stop fooling around. Pull the curtain back. And P is like, I can't. That is my picture. That's my painting. And everybody gasps. See, remember, he was so famous for excelling in trompe l'oeil that his painting was of the curtain. It looked like the curtain covering, you know, what his fresco would have been. It looked so real. The fabric looked like you can just reach out and touch it, that it fooled everybody. Who's the winner, right? It's P, because he obviously, not only did he fool everybody, but he fooled the other artist. And the other artist, Zeuxis, only fooled a bird. And, you know, let's be honest, the bird was kind of dumb anyway. He flew right into the wall. So what do we take from that? You have to be understanding that we all play a part. In any debate that's happening, we're all a part of it. There is a saying, it takes a good artist to play the fool. But it takes a great artist to make everyone else the fool. Now, Pliny, the pirate, was known for mixing fact and opinion in all of his writings. So it's really hard to know if this is in fact what happened, or is this more like an opinion piece that's kind of skewed a little bit towards the guy he preferred, the guy that he liked. And I don't know, but I kind of think so, because that guy, he's a somebody. Zeuxis, see, he's like a nobody. There's no surviving artwork of his, but like everybody studies the other guy. Pliny the Elder was educated, and he didn't have a family per se. He had a nephew that he left everything to. He didn't have a wife or children or anything like that. But his BFF was the Roman Emperor Vespasian. And I butchered that, so we're going to call him V. I'm just going to have nicknames for everybody. Okay, so Pliny the Elder documented everything from art to mining, horticulture, to, you know, medicine, philosophy. I mean, he did it all. This guy was like the Encyclopedia Britannica, okay? But for all you young people, it would be like Google, if Google was a guy. The propaganda of Emperor V and his two sons. His older son, Titus, and he had his younger son, Domitian. What is with these names? I feel sorry for the guy named Domitian. That's an ugly name. But his two sons were written about. After Emperor V, it went to Titus, because he's the eldest, right? And Titus was known for, you know, being well-liked, and it was, you know, he was just like a people's people. It's also known that he was kind of cruel. I mean, he wasn't perfect, no, but There's very little written about his younger brother, who wasn't really well liked. I mean, the Senate didn't agree with him. So I wondered if Pliny is writing more for this political agenda. You know, he liked Titus. The Senate liked him. So he's going to write nothing but like glowing things about him. But they didn't like his younger brother. So he doesn't really write too much about him. Kind of like going back to those two artists. You have Zeuxis, remember, and Parrhasius. So it does kind of sound super coinky dinky. So what I take away from all of this is to question everything before the possibility that it's being erased. It makes me wonder, what else in art history has been altered? Was Z the humble guy? I mean, was he the better artist? It's just that he wasn't friends with, like, you know, A-list celebrities. Who do you think was the real winner? Z or P? Which one would you rather be? The guy that died laughing at the hideousness of some troglodyte? Or would you rather be the woman, the troglodyte, whose horrible looks killed somebody? Put it in the comment section down below. Hit that like button, subscribe, and come back next week to see which art piece I choose here on The Art Whisperer.